Welcome to Is English Important? My name's Sam and I'll be your host today. We're going to discuss some hot topics, including whether English is important or not, how English is important, and whether it's related to success. We're going to have some people come on and discuss what they think, some interviews, quite a variety actually. We have people in the military, people in the medical field, and students in school currently. So watch for that. Let's start by getting into the interviews. First, I'm going to interview an elderly couple. All right, so what's your occupation?
I'm a nurse.
All right, and would you say that English has helped you become what you are as an employee?
Yes.
All right, and how?
Well, I mean, English is the basis of what I do. When I assess patients, I have to write it down.
Right.
Write my findings so the next shift knows and the doctor knows. I have to communicate with physicians, with patients, with families.
Right. And does it change your relations with people or employers or anything? Does that really, how you speak, affect that type of thing?
Sure. If I have an evaluation or, I write what my thoughts are on what I'm being evaluated on, or communicate with my, department head, or, if I have to pass tests or certain certifications, things like that, I use
Right.
English to do that.
All right, and would you say that English helps you out in everyday life?
Yeah, we go to the grocery store, and, order something at a restaurant.
What are some skills that you would say help you out, like parts of English, like grammar and stuff like that?
Sure, when I write my nurse's notes, if patients say something, put it in quotations, so my communication doesn't have just run-on words.
Right.
I use periods and commas, and it helps people understand better what I'm trying to say.
All right, like vocabulary and stuff like that too, using...
I mean, I've written newsletters in the past too, so I need to be able to be concise with what I say so that it doesn't take forever. If I ask questions, if people want to read the newsletter and get credit for it, they have to take a test, so I have to write
Right.
questions about that.
And do you believe that proper knowledge of English is related to success?
Sure. I mean, if you write things and it doesn't make sense, people aren't so apt to have a real high opinion of you.
Right. All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. All right, so what's your name?
Daryl Stevens.
And today I'm going to be asking you about how high school English class helped your life, and as it has. So, what's your occupation?
I'm full-time in the military for the Maine Army National Guard. I'm the Command Chief Warrant Officer.
All right, and would you say that English has helped you become who you are as a person or as an employee?
Absolutely. I mean, it helps you communicate, whether it's in written or oral. Without a clear understanding of how to communicate with each other, it makes it difficult.
All right, and would you say that English helps you out in everyday life?
Absolutely. Did you want? Is that a yes or no question? Or would you want me to explain?
Yeah. You can explain.
Well, for instance, in my job, if I'm taking and interviewing somebody, my job is one where I look for talent within the National Guard to become officers, and part of it is written and oral. So we do an interview, and do they speak well? Are they educated? Do they write well? They have to do an essay, a couple of them. They have to do a resume, and what I find lots of times is very few people have the ability, even college grads, the majority of them don't write things exactly the way they should. They don't spell correctly, they don't punctuate, they don't get their point across. And if you can't communicate, it's pretty tough. So,
Right.
so
All right, so what would you say some skills that you use every day from high school English would be?
well, I do the when I have to write memorandums and work with other branches of the service, Or if I'm working with people down in Washington, you need to be able to write a memorandum that explains exactly what you're trying to get across, what you're asking for, and that way they don't have to call you up and try to say, hey, what are you talking about?
All right, so intelligent vocabulary and
Well, you have
things
to
like
understand, I mean, if you, I think going to college and taking English classes better let you get your point across. Because if you can't take and articulate what you're trying to take and the message you're trying to get over to somebody, it's pretty hard to take and get them to do what you want them to do.
All right, and do you believe that proper knowledge of English is related to success?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the more the better you understand how to use, and whether it's write, read, you know, and speak, I think the easier it is for you to take and move up in the in your employment. So whether you're going to be the boss or whether you're going to be the worker.
All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And it was good interviewing you.
Thank you.
After seeing those two interviews, I think that we can determine that English is an important part of our everyday lives. In very different occupations, places, situations, and people, English has different meanings. It is a common language for most of the world. With it being such a basic and advanced means of communication, understanding English can help us better understand people. I would say that high school English prepares you for many, many things. Actually, almost every job you could have. I see, and I can imagine that everyone watching this will see that English plays an important role in the lives of all that speak it. Not only in the lives of those who speak it, but also in the lives of those who write it and read it. Now that we've found out that people can speak English and that they think English is important in their everyday lives, we're wondering, what does English class not teach us that we do need to learn, since it teaches us so much that we use every day? Well, I personally believe that part of English class, we should learn how to speak. Not just how to speak, but how to speak to people. Because we learn proper English and proper grammar and proper speech, but we don't learn how to, per se, communicate as well. And a lot of English is about communication. So I think that the part of English that is at most important, but maybe left out of classes, is charisma and communication. So we'll venture into that, and we'll ask some people if that's important to them, and hopefully we get ourselves some answers. Alright,